Okay, this is live. Hey guys, what's about to happen right now is in this Cambra's class here at Kinetic Academy, the kids have already seen our season of The Amazing Race. Now they just finished seeing the finale today. Now we're gonna go in and we're going to meet the kids, and this should be great. Come with us. So this is last year Kim and I did it, and we do it every year, and the kids get such a big kick out of it, and so it should be exciting. Let's see what happens. What? Do you guys know who we are? Yeah! Oh my God. Who are we? Oh my God. That's so awesome. How you doing? Wow. You, my man. You guys are so cool. Well, the big hero today is this young lady, these two young ladies back here who invited us, and since they are such awesome people, we agreed to come to your class. So give it up for your teachers. So how can we handle this?
Well, so I don't know, boys and girls, and now that they're here, if you have questions for them,
Sure.
I would imagine after, because we did see a lot of the challenges that you guys completed. So I think, unless you have something you want to talk about, I think we could answer questions as well.
Well, cool. Yeah, let's start. Well, actually, let's say something first. Let us say something first, and then you're going to be the first one, okay? Because I saw your hand, and then you're second. Okay. So, well, first off, it was such an exciting thing that we did, Kim and I, going on The Amazing Race. To this day, we are still the oldest people ever to win The Amazing Race. So what I want you all to know is, though you are young, though you are just in the 3rd grade right now, if you have a dream, if you have something that you want to attempt, Kim and I were couch potatoes, sitting on the corner of our couch, looking at The Amazing Race, and I even think back to the times when we're looking, and I'm looking, enjoying my favorite show, The Amazing Race, and Kim would say, "Chip, we should do that show." And I remember one time I took the remote control and I paused the television, and I said, "Kim, we can't do this, we can't do that, you can't do this, you can't. So could you just let me enjoy the show?" But then 2 years later, I listened to my wife, and we put in our application, and we were able to not only go on, but we were able to win. So you all, please make certain whatever you do in life, if you have a dream, if you have something that you're passionate about, of course, it doesn't hurt anybody else, and hopefully it'll help some other people. Don't let anybody stop. You okay? Yeah. All right. Kim, do you have anything to add?
No, the only thing I want to know is, okay, who paid attention? Who remembers some of the countries that we visited?
You call it people. Oh,
Okay.
remember we said
Okay, you can go first.
Texas.
Texas. That's right. We were in Texas, right? That's where we wound up. That's where we were.
So that's in the what?
United States. That's right.
Good job. Okay, who else? Okay, a girl this time.
I'm not a girl.
No. With the glasses. Yeah, in the back.
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome.
Argentina.
Okay, and you?
Cuba. You went what? I believe you went whitewater rafting, or you went digging the.
Yeah, we did go, but that was in another place. It wasn't Cuba. We did go to the Philippines. Yes, that's not Cuba. I want to go there one day, though. I'll tell you that.
Where?
Philippines.
Okay.
And my old teacher is from the Philippines.
Really? We loved it there. And where else?
India.
Yeah.
We went to India.
I was gonna say India.
What'd you say?
I was gonna say India.
What'd you say, honey?
Egypt.
Yeah, that was so. What did we go under in Egypt? In the
The pyramid.
yes. All right.
There you go.
You back there? You back there with the hurt leg? What? Oh, two of them. Jeez. Okay.
One of them is Catholic and one of them is Zion.
Okay. What was that?
I didn't really see what you were doing in the pyramid because our teachers fast forwarded it.
Oh.
Somebody must have said something that we forgot.
Okay. So was that?
That was good.
Okay. So do you all have any other questions? Okay, you first.
Was it hard to beat the other teams?
Was it hard to beat the other teams? Well, actually, it was one of the hardest things we've ever done. Actually, when we went on the show, we just went to have fun, to enjoy ourselves, and we just really didn't expend too much of our energy during the early stages of the race. We just saved it for the end, and luckily we lasted to the end, but yes, it was hard. And I said, you were going to be...
Can I interrupt?
Sure.
Boys and girls, after you call on somebody, put your hands down so we can listen to the response, and then when he's done, you can put your hand back up.
Thank you. Okay, didn't I say you were going to be second, right? So you still have a question? Oh, no, yeah, you were second.
Yeah, he was second.
You have a question? Okay, you don't have it anymore? Okay, so who? Okay, yes.
What was your favorite activity there? Like during
The favorite activity. This is the best. When we were in New Zealand, there's this thing called zorbing. And that's when you get in that ball, and man, so what they did was they took a pail of hot water, warm water, it was really lukewarm, and we got in the ball, and then they just pushed me down the hill, and it was like, at first it took a few bumps, but then it felt like I was on the moon. It was like, ooh, so serene all the way down the hill. It was great, and you know, they can only do that in New Zealand, so if you ever go, you know, do it in New Zealand, okay? Yes, young man.
How are you feeling in the race?
How were we feeling? Hungry. Oh my God. I lost 26 pounds in 6 weeks on that race. Tell them how you felt, Kim.
Yeah, you don't get to eat while you're on the race. You have the different legs of the race, and what happens is probably every 2 to 3 days is the only time that we get to stop. Editing stops, and then it's called a pit stop, and that's when we get to eat. We were scared to spend our money, so it's so hard, you guys.
Really? You. Yes.
Okay, what did you guys do with the money?
What did we do with the money?
Yay.
Well, it's in order not to go into too much, I'll tell you the first thing I bought. The first thing. It's, oh my God. I just realized this is before you guys were born. So, if you can believe it, there was no such thing as the iPhone. So the first thing we bought was I went because I'd always wanted to. I was a programmer, so I'd always used just PCs. So we went and bought a Mac laptop, and then I bought my son an iPod and me an iPod. That was the first thing we bought, and then the rest we put into our business. And
then we tied to our church.
No, that was actually
That was
the
the first.
10% to our church. That's right. That was the first thing. Yes, young lady.
When you had to eat the egg for the fish, was it disgusting?
Oh, you have no idea how disgusting. Okay, here's the thing. First of all, it was an ostrich egg, and that's equivalent to 24 regular chicken eggs, right? And but wait, no, don't do that yet. I'm gonna really make you do that. Guess what? I can't cook. They didn't have any oil, so I burnt it. And I hate burnt food. So I had to eat a burnt 24 ostrich eggs, and it was the worst. Oh, it was terrible. Yes, sir.
How gross was the fish egg?
Oh,
And where was that? Where did we eat? Where did
Yeah.
we eat the fish eggs? Do you remember what country?
do you remember?
No.
Who remembers where we ate the caviar, it's called?
Yeah, caviar.
That was in Russia.
That's what
Okay, now, so how nasty was that? Okay, I had to eat it, and it was grueling but here's the story behind that. When we pulled up to the caviar, there were two girls who probably weighed less than 100 pounds. They were slumped over, and they were, oh, and they said, Chip, thank God you got here. Now you can tell these crazy producers that it's humanly impossible for anybody to eat a liter of caviar because they had like saline poisoning. So then I sat down at that table, and I remember when my mom used to say, give me Brussels sprouts, which I hated when I was a kid. So we had what you call Kool-Aid back in the day. I don't know, do they still have Kool-Aid? Yeah, okay. So we had Kool-Aid, and I would just eat the Brussels sprout Kool-Aid, eat it, and my mother would get mad. She said, boy, you're eating it so fast, you're not getting any of the nutrients. So anyway, there was some fruit punch there, and I just shifted back into that mode, and I just went, drink, and I was done in 15 minutes, and the girls looked at me like, oh my God. But Kim, now listen to Kim. She said she got the worst end of that deal. How is that?
Okay. Think about it. I'm sitting there, and so you have all these other racers. They're sitting there eating the caviar. But guess what I had to do? I had to look at them. I was smelling it because a lot of them were barfing it up.
Oh, well, I didn't know you were going to tell that part, Kim. I thought you were going to talk about what I smelled like.
Well, yeah, and he smelled very fishy too.
No, she talked about
overnight. Yeah,
she got the worst end of the deal because she got to smell the stuff inside of these. So that's the worst part of it. Yeah, you back in the green hat.
Did you grow any caviar?
Did I grow any? Oh yeah, wait. Since I had some, I felt like it. Oh, it was bad. I didn't eat caviar for at least a year. No.
I forgot if you were in Egypt or India, but how did you get the goats on the boat so fast?
Ooh. That was one of the worst days of my life because Kim is like, I can't tell. So I had to load them all by myself. And Kim she was taking the jacket and then to this day, my wife, who is a very honest person, very honest, she says, I lifted one on, but we go back and we see she didn't lift any on.
I did.
No, you didn't.
But they were really smelly.
Oh yeah.
Smelly.
Hey, you.
How did it feel going in the big plastic ball with the warm water when you went
Oh, I'm telling you guys have to do it. You have to tell your parents. You tell your parents. You say, Mom, Dad, for my next birthday, I want to go to New Zealand to Zor. You got to tell them. Tell them I said so. Don't tell them I can't help them pay for it, but tell them you want to go. You back over here? Yes.
So, what was the scariest activity that you did in the Amazing Race?
Well, I'll let one of the proudest moments I had was when my wife did something, and let them know what you did.
Now this was in New Zealand. It's called sledging. It looks like the rapids. I don't swim, okay? Even though I had a swimming pool at my house, I maybe went in it twice, and I lived there for 14 years. But we had to go down. Did you guys see that waterfall?
Yes!
And then those were grade 5 rapids, which is really strong. And actually, if you notice, when we went down in that contraption, whatever it was, the boat, it actually flipped over. You know, so I went down up underneath that water, and it was rushing really fast. But somehow the strength, I held my breath, and I miraculously got back up. Came back up to the surface. But it was a real scary time for me because I'm scared of the water.
So many people said the same one time, and so did I.
Oh, yeah. Let me get somebody who haven't gotten used there. Yes.
Do you know that when you were going to the finish line, Colin and Christy, or when they were, their driver was going in, out of the lane.
No. No, we had no idea that where Colin and Christy were, but we were thinking that Colin, since he was such a formidable foe, that he was like right behind us, right on our tail. So we were scared the whole time. And when we came around that corner and we saw that they weren't up there. Even right now, very emotional. But I got to tell you something about Colin and Christy. Even though the editors edited them as like really bad people, they are awesome people. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you know it or not, but that was season 5 of The Amazing Race. I think they're on like something like season 30 something now, right? Colin and Christy were on the last season, a comeback to get another chance, and they won. So they're champions now too. You forgot, I took so long just talking about. Okay.
So when you were running to the finish line, why did you drop your bag?
Oh, because it just felt so
Excited. I
good.
think we were excited.
That was the, you know how, okay, let's see, who has it? Could everybody put their hand down who has already asked a question? And only the people who have not asked the question. Okay, you go.
When you ate all the chocolates to find the white one, did your stomach hurt?
No.
No,
Wait.
that holds a lot. It never
Was it yummy?
Oh my God, that chocolate was so good. No, I was like, dang, I hope I never find it. No, it was great.
But did you find it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you had to find it to
What
continue.
was your hardest challenge?
The hardest challenge was when we were in New Zealand, and you know, my body was heavy. I was about 20 pounds heavier then, and way out of shape. And I had to pull my body weight up like a helicopter ladder over this water. And oh my God, it was so grueling. It felt like I was gonna fall. So that was the roughest. I didn't think I was gonna
You
be
guys
able
are young
to. Okay,
now, so
for
stay
right
in
now,
shape. That's
to be
very
fair,
important.
people who have already asked the question, please don't raise your hands. Only the people who haven't asked the question. You young
I
lady.
remember me and my dad when I was wait, not when I mean with my brother, we fished with caviar.
Right, yeah. It could be used for fish, or they have something like beluga caviar that's really expensive. Then they have some real, like the kind you fish with.
How hard was it to decide between which way of the detailer to go?
Well, that was left up to Kim. I was the brawn and she was the brain. I was so innervated, my energy was so depleted that I'm like going like, which way do I go? So Kim made all the decisions.
Right, I was the navigator, so it was up to me to map our way around. And that's why we probably made it to the finish line, because of the brains. That's more important.
She
than
didn't
mine.
need me. Yes, so behind you, and I'll get you next. Oh, you young man, yes.
Okay, so when you went down from the huge building into the pool of water in the beginning of the race, what did you feel like?
Did we do that?
No, because we ended up
We-
rolling the dice.
Well,
inside.
guess what? We messed up
Worldwide.
so badly. We didn't even. I'm telling you guys. That's why I was telling you. Please follow your dreams, because you don't have to be the best at something. You don't, because it's blessings from God that enabled us to win. Yes. You.
Was it hard to go in the maze to put on the picture?
Oh. Yeah, and you know why? They call it on the race, we call it killer fatigue. It's when you're so tired that you can't even think straight. So I went around and there was this little play rat up there, and I went, there's the rat again. And I probably went to that same spot like a rat, like 95 times.
You guys didn't see it, but we were probably in there at least 45 minutes, I would say.
We saw a white rat.
Oh, yeah, we saw. Yes, we did.
One camera, it was on the top of the. We saw a white rat.
Awesome. Yes.
What was the hardest roadblock?
The hardest roadblock.
Well, for me, the sledging in New Zealand, you know, since I'm afraid of water, having to do that.
Yeah.
I would say that.
Yes. Yes. I know, I hate when that happens. It's like, wait, we'll come back to you. You let me know when you're ready. You over there in the corner, young man. Yes.
Did you get yielded?
Pardon?
Did you get yielded?
No, actually, this is trivia. That Amazing Race 5 was the first season where yielding or U-turns or anything came into play. That was the very first time. And I knew that even though Colin and Christy were great friends of ours, I had to use it on Colin because I just had to. So then that was a very hard decision for me to make, but that was it. Okay, now remember you guys, you got to do me a huge favor. Let's only raise hands if you haven't asked a question because we want to give everybody a chance. Yes.
What was the hardest detour and tell the options and why it was so hard?
Kim, you do that one. You do the brain work. The hardest detour, tell the options. There was a choice between.
Oh,
And why it was so hard?
I'm trying to see, but no, what I wanted to tell you, the hardest one, it wasn't a detour, it was a roadblock. But do you remember where were we when I had to dig and find the scarab? Do you remember that? Because guess what? I was in there for almost an hour and I was doing it with my hands, so my hands actually got cut up and they were bleeding. You know, so that was very difficult.
Okay, I want you guys to know she's being very disingenuous now because that's the only task she did. And how could that be the, it was the hardest for you because that's the one you did. Okay, now we're being fair, right? Only people who haven't asked questions, right? Okay, everybody else down, we'll get back. Yes. You, young lady, yes.
Was it easy when you were making the blocks in India?
Oh no, and it was so hot. It seemed, of course it wasn't, it seemed to be 1,000 degrees and it was so hot and so grueling. And every time you make a brick and you try so hard, you put it up there. No! And like, and so it was really hard. Okay, you young lady.
What happened when you had to shave your head?
Well, no, actually, that was another season, but you know, I go aerodynamically correct all the time, so it's cool with me, you know. If I would have gotten that, would have been okay. Now, I think you asked a question. Now, we want to get only people who haven't asked questions right now. Okay, so then let's get those. Yes, you bet. Yes.
Was it easy when you decorated the cars or the vans?
Oh, okay. Kim and I, we actually, they always talk about people, man, I know when you went on that show, you guys really argued a lot or had a rough time. And Kim and I, we actually didn't because we were in such a great place. But that was one of the times when we kind of got edgy with each other because.
Okay, trivia, what is the name of that vehicle that we had to put together? Do you know?
Well, you do. Who really knows? You know the name. You really know the name of it. What is it?
A GP?
Yeah! Wow!
That's awesome!
That was in the Philippines, but that one was one where we were really frustrated putting that thing together, and I think because I really felt bad that we had yielded Colin and Christy, and they were like looking at us like, you dirty dogs, you know? Okay, now I think you asked the question. Oh, you did? Okay.
What was the easiest task to do?
The scarab thing where she was digging around in the
that was the hardest.
Oh, well, the easiest task.
It's probably you eating. No, you eating. That had to have been the easiest.
No.
It was just hard.
I don't know.
Oh, guess what?
Oh.
When we were in Russia, when we had to drink.
Yeah, we didn't watch that one either.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Oh.
okay.
Well, we had to drink something. Yeah.
Right.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
What was the funnest task?
The fun. Oh, I think the funnest was when they were when we were in Uruguay or something like that, and they were dancing around, and we got to go and look
Oh, that's in Argentina.
Argentina, yeah.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
That was the easiest one.
Okay, so you have that one.
What's the funniest?
Yes, you.
What was the funniest thing in business?
The funniest thing.
The brothers.
That's a good. Oh, do you guys remember Lance and Marshall? Oh, they were some characters, boy. They just did.
I remember when they were doing the chocolate thing. Rachel was just getting a whole bunch.
Oh, yeah, they're some wild boys. They're wild.
What was the hardest opponent?
Oh, definitely Colin and Christy. So how much time do we have over here, Kelly?
We have as much time as
Okay. Oh, great. Okay.
I mean, probably ask questions all day. So
Oh no, we're fine. We love this. You young lady.
Why
Oh, because I'm just a goofball. That's the thing I really feel, and I hope you guys adopt this too. Just have fun in life no matter what, especially during stressful times, you know. Okay, so let me do it again. Who has not asked a question? Only people who haven't asked questions have your hands up. Okay.
What was it like when you found out that you were going to be on the Amazing Race?
Actually, you guys, I want to tell you something. I didn't know we had enough time, but we were at pretty much the lowest part in our lives. We had a business partner who had cheated us out of everything, and our home was in foreclosure, and we were in bankruptcy, and we were at a really rough time in life. And we just decided to go on that show, not to win because we didn't think we could win, but we just wanted, because I finally had enough time to do something since I had nothing else. So it was when we went to our, I even told Kim, I said, Kim, this is God's will. We're going to get on, and we're going to have tremendous favor in our lives. So we kind of knew all the while we were going to get on the show and that we were going to get a good trip around the world. But God didn't even show us a glimpse that we were going to win. So that was just amazing. Yes.
I can't remember, but from episode 1, did you guys choose Chip on your detour because your name is Chip?
Well, actually, wasn't, let me tell you something. We were such bumbling knuckleheads that we messed up everything. We came back to the pit stop with nothing. That's why we had to go back. So we didn't choose Chip or anything. We just bumbled, you know. So okay, yes.
What was your favorite episode out of all of them?
Ooh, which one do you think was our favorite? There's only one that could be our favorite, and which was the last one. that was the favorite. Okay, so let's just make sure that we have only hands raised if you haven't asked the question. Yes.
How hard was it to get up the mountain?
Just extremely, extremely hard because we just lifting all this weight up. It was really rough.
Stay in shape.
Yeah.
Don't get out of shape.
Definitely.
So important.
Okay, yes, young man. Uh-huh.
Is it hard to find the glue in the maze?
In the maze, it was grueling. It was one of the hardest things we had to do because we were so tired at the end there. Okay, so any more people who have not asked a question? Okay, so good. So everybody who wanted to got a chance. Okay, so now, anybody. Okay, give me.
Okay, let me see who. Oh,
So, when you were in the ball, did you go upside down at all?
Well, no, actually, since the outer ball goes around and the inner ball kind of stays stable. When we first started off, I bounced like that, but then it was just so smooth. You guys have to tell your parents you want to go to New Zealand on your next. No, I'm just kidding. But you want to go in your lifetime, I'll tell you that. Yes.
When the guy got stitches on his knees, did you feel bad or were you scared?
Yeah, we were all scared because you get really, really close with everybody on the race. It is the most exciting thing because I don't know if you guys know it or not, but once you get to the pit stop and you get that 12-hour break, you know, from 12 a.m. to 12 p.m. or whatever time you arrive, you really get to know the other people. And everybody on the race, it's their lifelong dream to be, well, not lifelong, but it's a big dream of theirs to be on the Amazing Race. So we really had a chance to bond with them.
How did he get stitches?
He got stitches actually at the hospital.
Yeah, the airport.
That's the hospital our daughter was born in, right?
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
So, did you know anybody on the Amazing Race?
Well, we got to know them afterwards. As a matter of fact, when you're auditioning for the Amazing Race, you cannot talk to anybody or you get disqualified. So there would be it starts off a room like this or even bigger, and you can't say one word because they don't want you to have any predetermined or any mature relationship with anybody. So we didn't know anybody. But now sometimes people do know each other on the race.
Did you guys ever sleep?
Oh, wow. We didn't get much sleep. And then the thing is you once you go to a pit stop, then you have to do interviews, you have to shower. Speaking of showering, there was this one task where I started off carrying a 45-pound side of lamb, and I'm carrying it first. I'm carrying it like a man, you know. I'm carrying it, but it's like 102 outside, so I'm carrying it like this, and I'm, you know. And then, but we got to be about 4 blocks, and then okay, all of a sudden, I'm carrying it like this, and long story short, by the time I went to 2 miles with it, in all this heat, I have it on my head and everything, and this blood is dripping all over me. Okay? Guess what we do? Oh, do we get to go to a pit stop then? No, we go on an airplane. So I'm sitting next to people on an airplane smelling like a side of cooked in blood. So it was grueling stuff. Guess what the heck?
Oh, when you went through the maze, your head was so sweaty.
Pardon? Oh yeah. Yeah, it was sweaty a lot. Yes.
When you guys were in like the GPS thing, and then the other team was right near you guys first know that you guys were the second?
Now you said the GPS?
The jeepney.
Oh, the jeepney. Oh.
We were next to it.
Oh.
Oh yeah, we won that leg, didn't we?
Yeah, that
we
was.
were scared. But we had a fast, I think what had happened was we ended up going on that fast bus, remember?
Yeah.
It seemed like we were gliding through the air.
We got some blessed breaks.
Right.
Let me see. Let me get you in the blue right back here. Yes, you. No, you.
How old were you when you did the
I think, don't quote me, I think I was 46, 62. You guys.
Younger.
You're my best friend. You're my best friend. I love this class. Can I take over this class? You guys are.
Take over our class.
Yes, you.
Oh,
Oh, we do look different.
That
Wow.
was a while ago.
Yeah, that was just that you guys were not even born. That's the power. That's when the Lord showed me we would get tremendous favor, because now you guys, we are realtors. And what? I said, have you ever heard of the show The Amazing Race? They go, yeah. I said, well, my wife and I won it. They go, oh my God, Martha, come here. You guys come. And so it's not us. We're not stars or anything, but the show gives tremendous favor. You back there in the black. Yeah, that's a great question, and the answer to that is yes. You have great insight, especially when we were in like Uruguay and Argentina. Even though we do not speak Spanish, we could kind of understand because the words are similar. When we were in Russia, man, we will never forget. It's the craziest thing. We're running for this train, and we go ask somebody. We said, do you know where the train station is? They go, train station. And then we went like this. We went, choo, choo, choo. Because just think, the last time a train choo-choo was back 10 or 15 years before I was born. So they were like, so you can't even, the only word I know in Russian is nip. See, I'm fluent.
How upset were you when you realized you weren't in first when you forgot when you didn't use the yield the first time?
Oh, when we did.
You missed the twins. You didn't do it.
Oh, with the twins. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, we were really upset because we didn't know that we were second to last.
Yeah,
we almost got
had
out on that one.
Right,
That's
and
right.
the thing was,
Playing around.
speaking of being upset, not with ourselves, it was more like Kim was upset with me. But anyway, we won't talk about that. Last question? Okay, Kim, you pick the last question.
Okay, you in the green hat.
So 3 questions in one.
Oh,
Okay.
How hard is the race?
really?
The word.
Extremely.
The word.
We were wondering if we could get a picture.
Oh, we would love that.
Before we get out of our seats, what would we like to say to the kid for coming in?
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Awesome. So, yeah, so you guys want to, we'll just stand in the back.